It's graduation day. In fact, for the next several days, it will be graduation days throughout many Southeast Michigan communities. We know how special it is, and it is fraught with a lot of emotions for parents, certainly, but none more so than in the community of Oxford, where they are still dealing with the aftermath of the November 30th, 2021 murders of students at Oxford High School. And they are struggling with a way that they can honor those students. Some kids want to wear an orange cord or an orange braid over their necks in honor of their fallen students, and also the students that survived and have had to deal with the trauma of that shooting. But the district is asking them not to. We'll get into that in a moment, but first let's welcome in two Oxford moms, Marisa Prince and Lori Bourgeau, who's also a member of the Oxford Village Council. Lori and Marisa, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Guy.
Marisa, you ordered these orange commencement cords from a nonprofit group, and just explain to our listeners, what does the orange cord represent? What's the message?
The orange cords seem to represent different things to different people, but for every town for gun safety who issues them, they represent anyone who considers themselves to be a survivor of gun violence, or anyone who supports efforts to prevent and end gun violence in America.
So the first part, I think everybody can agree with. The second part kind of sounds political. And that's something that I think there are questions about whether it's appropriate to inject those politics into this, hallowed event at Oxford. What would your there's kind of an activism component to this, and that concerns some people. What would you say to them?
What would I say to people who have concerns about politicizing graduation through students wearing this simple piece of orange nylon around their necks? I guess I would say that the graduation ceremony itself is for the students. We have to acknowledge and respect what they've been through. They ordered these cords on their own, independently, through the website to be delivered to their home. Mm-hmm. It's something that they want to wear in front of their friends, their teachers, their families, to represent what they've been through and what's important to them. So I think in this case, given what they've been through, maybe some people view it as political, but I don't think that the students necessarily view it that way. They view it as what they experienced. Yeah.
Well, and you could also make the argument that even if it might be interpreted as political, if anybody has earned the right to express themselves, it would be these kids. Lori, I know that the district is offering navy and gold cords. It sounds like that they are, in terms of symbology, at least half of it, they say it acknowledges the incomparable challenges they, meaning the students, have had to face in their journey to achieve their high school diploma. Why wouldn't the navy and gold braid be a suitable substitute?
It's just the school taking control and saying no to these children one more time. They want to honor Tate, Madison, and Justin and Hannah in their way. And, the district says you need to earn a cord. And I think if somebody's earned to wear these cords, it's these students. And it's something. It says something when the district says, no, you can't wear any cords because you have to earn them. And then they go ahead and issue cords for every student anyways. They're just whitewashing it through. They're changing the meaning of what these kids say these cords are for into something political. They're saying you can't have it, you have to earn it, but, oh, by the way, we'll go ahead and give you one anyways. These kids they're on their way out. They want to close their chapter with Oxford High School under their own terms.
We should point out the superintendent said that she was concerned this would set a precedent. She said, my endorsement of other symbolic graduation wear would set a precedent that could erode that tradition of just making it focused on achievement and accomplishment, and more importantly, the focus on students and their accomplishments. So it does sound like, though, that they are willing to allow, I mean, again, other symbols. Isn't there going to be some kind of a tassel charm as well, Marissa?
Yes, that was a student-led initiative recently within the last few weeks to create a metal tassel with photographs of one of the shooting victims who would be graduating this year with his class, Tate, as well as a student who died recently in a car accident named Daphne. And yes, those were issued today to students as an optional item to wear on their hat.
So that's two other forms of acknowledgement of the loss that they have permitted, but not yours. Have they explained to you why yours is somehow different? Because it seems like all three break with tradition, but this is a very non-traditional moment historically in Oxford's history.
Right. It's been explained as because it originated from an outside organization, so it didn't originate from within the district. It was ordered from an outside source, and I do take issue with this with the terminology of tradition, because knowing one of the victims' families closely, I can tell you that after these murders, traditions went out the window completely in terms of families and holidays and time together. Yeah. And those are all ruined. And we still don't have answers from the school district on what happened that day. They just continue to take anything they can and make it worse. And now they're citing tradition, and it's just very hurtful to everyone involved. And I'd like the district to just please, for once, consider the mental health of the students and what their needs are in this case.
But would you be against, I mean, if someone wanted to bring a protest sign calling for the abolition of the Second Amendment or calling for a ban on AR-15s or whatever it might be, would that be permissible or would that be politically disruptive?
A sign at graduation, I think, would be inappropriate. Yeah, that's not what anyone's asking for here.
Yeah, because you don't perceive the orange braid as being inherently political.
I do not personally perceive the orange braid as being inherently political. No, I think that speaking out against gun violence and being someone who lived through that and not wanting to see it continue is not political.
You live next door to Hannah's, St. Juliana's family, correct?
Yes, Hannah's family is in my neighborhood.
Okay, so this is quite personal to you. Just tell me what it will mean come her graduation day, because was she class of 24?
Hannah was a freshman when she was killed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think that this issue with the orange cords is going to continue with future classes. So it's not something that's going to go away. We have some time to work through this, before the next class graduates. This one kind of snuck up because more students ordered them than we thought, and students did wear them last year.
Yeah.
I think in terms of Hannah's class, once they reach graduation, I think they all just still feel a real deep sense of loss. Hannah's family created apparel that people wear, and it has a symbol on the front with her name in Japanese. You see a lot of students and parents and people wearing this apparel all throughout the community, and people just remembering her. There's going to be a garden created for Hannah, and it's just a huge loss. Hannah was so special, and she's so missed, and people want to remember her and everyone else, and I just hope that we can work together and celebrate the students and what they need moving forward.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine the hole that it's left and the void that it's left in your community there. Marisa Prince, we thank you so much for being with us. Lori, I know your son graduates Thursday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Very excited.
Yeah, we hope it's a memorable commencement for all the usual reasons, but also in terms of reflection, a very moving and memorable commencement for all the right reasons as well, as you continue to cope with this in your community. Thanks to you both.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, take care. And if you've got some thoughts on why you think this is appropriate or not, I think in terms of expression, what these kids have been going through, as long as it's not overt, then that's an acceptable form of remembering what they've lost. We'll get to your calls and more as we continue in the Tuesday afternoon edition of The Guy.